Are you bored at home? Are you sitting on the couch thinking to yourself, man, I cannot afford these expensive streaming services. I can't afford Netflix. I can't afford Paramount. I can't afford Apple TV Plus. I can't afford HBO Max, Peacock. I can't afford any of these. What am I gonna do? Well, I may be able to give you a suggestion, and that is for you to go out and get yourself the Tubi app. Now, Tubi is not sponsoring this video. They're not telling me to say anything. They're not, pumping money into my channel. I mean, with the subscriber count that I have, honestly, that would be doubtful for them to even consider sponsoring me. But I will say this. If you go down and you download Tubi right now, on that streaming service, which is a free streaming service, free, F-R-E-E, free, meaning you're not going to pay a dime to watch anything on Freevee. Well, this isn't Freevee, but that's another streaming service. But on Tubi, you're not going to pay anything, and you're going to be able to watch a movie that I had no idea was coming out. But I got curious in because of one specific actress, and that movie is Hive. Now, trust me when I say, I am not the type of person who actually likes to go and find horror films to watch. I am not the type of person who likes to go watch horror movies, even though, as of recently, I have been liking certain horror films. So I wouldn't pass it entirely on myself and say like, oh, I'm never gonna watch a horror movie. But in this specific case, I said, you know what? For this specific person, I will watch Hive. Now, first off, before I even mention any actors, I do have to say that this movie, in fact, originally was a short that you can actually go on Vimeo right now and actually watch. A short by the same name, and in about, I think it's like an 8-minute short, 10-minute short. It's a short film, but it's incredibly well produced. Sound design is fantastic, and I feel like because of how it's structured and how it's shot, I feel like Tubi saw this and said, you know what, we're gonna pay for this, or whatever studio that actually decided to actually pay for this movie to be made. They said, you know what, we're gonna make this movie. And again, this is an indie film. This is not a big budget, huge Hollywood style film. This is a very indie film that honestly wasn't all that bad, but there are some caveats here and there. So let's start off with the positives, and I think casting is the key thing. Now let's talk about Aaron Dominguez, who I think is a great actor, and I haven't seen a lot of his work, but I think that he did great in this film, playing an older brother who's, trying to help out his sister. And obviously a lot of things ensue later on, and I think he deals with those situations promptly, so kudos to him. Obviously you have other actresses like Tanya Van Gran, you have Zenobia Clopers, and obviously you have the children in this film as well, because this movie has a lot of children, and the children actors are absolutely fantastic in this movie. All of them. I mean, they are to the T fast, and like the direction for these children alone should win an Oscar, because it's incredible. Like, how do you tell all these kids, okay, you're gonna stop, you're gonna look, you're gonna flip, you're gonna turn backwards, you're gonna walk like you're some crab, upside down. It's crazy. But I think the kids alone in this movie did fantastically well. I think of everything in this movie, their performance alone is probably the biggest highlight of this movie. So in that sense, the kids actors, those two actors, all of these people are great. But the one person who I wanted to see this movie for, the one person who I was actually interested in seeing in this movie, was Xochitl Gomez. Xochitl is awesome, okay? And it's crazy to me that I haven't seen a movie with her since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And we're talking about that was 4 years ago. That was 4 years ago. I haven't seen her in a film in 4 years. I don't know what's happening with Hollywood, but I think that she's a great actress and she should be, utilized. I mean, heck, she was on Dancing with the Stars and she danced her heart out to literally win the competition. So if dedication isn't enough to prove to you that she's a great actress, I feel like this movie also does her justice as well. She does great throughout the entire movie and actually delivers on the horror aspect of, what Hive is all about. And honestly, she truly is one of the highlights of the movie and the real reason why I wanted to watch this movie. So kudos to her. Now, cinematography-wise, this is not a movie that's going to win any Oscars for cinematography whatsoever. It is a movie that plays out like a made-for-TV movie. But I think that for the subject matter, you gotta give them a little bit of leeway. This is a movie that isn't with a huge budget on its back. So I feel like you can give and forgive a little bit in this case, because ultimately it's a story that is made for an open audience for free on a free platform. So you can kind of forgive that. Another thing that I feel like is a bit, I'm not gonna say bland, but I feel like it's a bit misleading. And since this movie is considered TVMA, which is like TV made for a mature audience, technically speaking, you'd say like, oh, okay, this is a movie that you're gonna see a lot of F words. You're gonna see a lot of, vulgarity on screen. You're gonna see maybe, naked people walking around. None of that. As a matter of fact, this movie, if it were a rating of sorts to put on, TV, this would be a PG-13 movie. Because theoretically, in a PG-13 movie, you can only say the F word once. And I feel like that's the only time you hear the F word is once. So this would be technically a PG-13 film. But on Tubi, it's considered a TVMA. I expected a little bit more from this movie in terms of vulgarity. But at the same time, like I said, it is a low budget movie, so I'm giving it and forgiving a little bit of what I'm seeing on screen here. Now, another thing that I won't give it huge props for, but I'll give it some little bit of credit for, is having physical designs. I did not see a single shot of CG for this entire movie. There's not a moment in this film where I'm like, oh, that's a lot of CG. I didn't see any CG. Everything that I saw was practically built. Everything was, well constructed for the story. Whether it's makeup design, I mean, mind you, I'm talking about something that was made to put on a TV platform, on a free streaming platform for you to watch. So you'd expect really bad set design. The set design is okay. It's not mind-blowing by any stretch of the imagination, but the idea that it's fully practically made is, I think, worthy of some credit. Now, a problem that I have with this movie is ultimately some editing situations. In terms of length, the movie in terms of length is great. It's great. It's I think an hour and 35 minutes long. The length is perfect. There's nothing wrong with the length. I would not make it shorter or longer. I think that it's the perfect length for that movie. So I'll give it props for that. But when it comes to the story and some of the editing portions, there were moments where it's like, oh, this is happening, and then you get a cut to something else that's happening, and you're supposed to fill in the blank, but they're not even in the same area. You'd expect for whatever's happening to happen within the area of context. But no, they just pull you out into a completely different moment. You'd expect a little bit more, continuity in some of the shots. Where I feel like I wish that there was something inserted here that would connect scene A to scene C. So you need to insert a B scene in order to connect A to B and then from B to C. There are moments where the cuts go from A to C. Put that into mind. Now, mind you, it's because I'm an editor. I have those picky moments in my mind as I'm watching a movie. So I feel like that is kind of a qualm that I have with this movie, is that the editing could have been, it would have been necessary to add like maybe a scene or two to fill in moments that would need a connecting tissue. But then again, that's just me. Now, is this movie gonna win any awards? Definitely not. This is not the holy grail of free movies, you know, of Tubi movies. On Tubi alone, you could probably watch a dozen movies that I could probably list off to you right now. First one that I'm gonna say, Superbad. White Chicks is another one. You can watch Bullet Train, the movie with Brad Pitt. I mean, honestly, A Few Good Men, which is like an excellent movie. I mean, heck, Twilight Zone. You could even watch Twilight Zone on Tubi TV. Saving Private Ryan. I mean, I'm just like scrolling here and seeing all the things that they have that are available for you to watch for free, mind you. Obviously, you'll probably have an ad here and there, but that's what they have. And I mean, come on, give them their props, okay? They have a really good selection of movies for you to watch. Now, am I gonna compare Hive to any of these great movies that they have? Absolutely not. You should never compare an indie film, a film that was probably made for the budget of maybe a Taco Bell meal or a candy bar, or, you know, something very basic, and compare it to another movie. You should never do that. But for what it is and how it stands, I think that it's an okay movie to go and watch. If you're bored and you want to watch a movie with Xochitl Gomez on it, there you go. She's there and she's great. And the kids that they use in this movie are fantastic. Like, that, I would say, is the highlight of this movie. Like, these kid actors is the highlight of this movie. But do I think it's gonna like be the greatest movie of the time? Absolutely not. And I mean, if you're looking for big budget action set pieces, this is not the movie that you're gonna go and watch. You can watch a dozen other movies on Tubi to get that. But if you do want to watch a very basic horror film that I would even consider to be on the level of something like Goosebumps. If you've ever watched Goosebumps movies, you know exactly the style that we're seeing here. But if you're expecting that, this is what is going to be delivered to you. It's Goosebumps. But like I say in every single one of my videos, these are just my ideas, my thoughts, my opinions on these movies. And in this specific movie, that's what I thought. I thought that this movie was pretty good. It was okay. Not gonna win any massive awards. If you're here, listen, I'll give you 3 good reasons to go watch this movie. Xochitl Gomez, and probably Xochitl Gomez. Those are the 3 good reasons to go watch this movie. No, I'm kidding. Xochitl Gomez is definitely one of the reasons. Seeing these kids that are great actors in there and doing a great job, and obviously, the fact that you're going to be reliving some of your childhood memories watching Goosebumps, because that's exactly the level of storytelling that you're going to see here. But then again, that is my opinion, and I want to hear from you. What do you think? Are you going to watch Hive? Are you going to download Tubi to see Hive? Are you going to watch it on your computer? Are you going to tell other people about this movie called Hive? Are you even interested in seeing a free movie on a free platform? Are you the person who is sitting on their couch right now watching this and thinking, man, I think I'm gonna go and watch this on Tubi right now. So see you later. Hopefully I have convinced you to possibly have gone to see Hive. Again, not the greatest movie of all time, but a good little horror movie if you're into, you know, crazy kind of like almost psychological movies that have to do with kids doing creepy things. Because honestly, kid horror is pretty horrific sometimes, and I just can't handle it. But in this movie, I was capable of actually handling it. Nonetheless, those are my opinions. And I want to hear your opinion down below in the comments. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.
Scrolling through YouTube, same old routine, then bam, movie savant, what a scene. Trivia bombshells dropping knowledge like rain. Forget the dishes, gotta watch it again. Movie buffs unite, savants to place. Subscribe and hit the bell, don't leave a trace. Next level knowledge keeps you in the loop. Savants got the scoop, ain't nothing to recoup.